Hello, my name is Anna. I'm a digital fantasy artist, and today I'm going to talk about the fact that we will all make bad art for the rest of our lives. First, we need to talk about why is that, and I feel like a lot of us have this question where we're like, when will I be amazing? Like, when will my art be good? When will I look at my art and I'm going to finally be proud? Like, this is what I like and I'm going to paint like this for the rest of my life. And I'm just here to tell you that this is super unrealistic and it's probably never going to happen. You are always going to see something bad in your art and you're always going to want to change something. And I'm here to tell you why this is actually good and this is actually positive for you. I feel like not liking our own art is such a natural experience for artists. Like, we will cheer for our friends until we die and like say that X and Y artists are the most amazing artists we've ever seen. But when it comes to our art, we literally even get panic attacks posting on Instagram because we look at it after a certain amount of days and we're just like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing I've ever done. Everyone is going to hate it. And then I see the comments on my Instagram and it's like, this is so good, I love it, la la. And I get like so like emotionally happy, but at the same time I'm like, no, this is bad. Like, I can't, it's so hard to see the beauty in our own work and admit that we do make beautiful things, because I feel like we just don't like what we create, which I think it's so sad. And I feel like this comes a lot from comparing ourselves to others. I feel like we always, for example, when we create a mood board or when we have references, we have a certain idea of how we want our work to look. And when it doesn't achieve our expectations, I feel like most of us just get extra depressed because we're like, no, look at the reference and then look at my work. Like, it has nothing to do with it. But then we need to understand that actually this is good. Like, you're not supposed to create something that already exists. You're always going to do your own thing, you know. But I feel like most of us, we just feel like we're never enough or even not doing enough. Like, even if I finish 3 whole portraits on a month, I'm always like, I could have done more, I could have practiced it more. Why am I not making time for studies? Why am I not making time for personal art? Like, there is this constant fear of not being enough in the artist community that I feel like it needs to be talked about, but at the same time it's pretty normal. And even though this feeling is important, and I'm going to tell you why, I just feel like it can stem from a lack of consistency and a lack of self-confidence. So having a good idea of self-worth is so important for you to not feel all these negative emotions when you're painting, because it's really important to have a positive mindset while you are creating things and while you are starting a painting. Because if you sit down to work and you are so convinced that you can't do it, or you're so convinced that your work is never going to be good enough, you're never actually going to make something you're proud of. So you need to realize what is your idea of self-worth, and if you have some type of lack of confidence that might hinder your work, because at a certain point thinking that your art is bad is going to be beneficial for you. But if you think it's bad all the time, and if you think you are someone that is not worth making and creating good work, then that's something you really should change. Some people are going to say like, oh, you should only compete with yourself. Like, don't look at others' works, don't compare yourself to others. But I feel like this is bad at the same time, because if you're always comparing yourself, like your work to yourself, you're going to look at the art that you made now and you're going to think it looks bad. And then you're going to compare it to your past works and you're going to think your past works are even worse. So like, it's basically a never-ending cycle of thinking everything you do is bad because you're always comparing yourself to your older paintings. So I feel like this mindset is toxic and can be a trap as well. Because when will you be enough for yourself? When will your work be enough? When is this magical line that we think exists? Like, when are you going to be satisfied with the things that you make, you know? And that is why I want to say that knowing that your art is always going to be bad is actually good, because it means that firstly, you're always going to have something to improve. So you're never going to be static in your artworks and flows. You're always going to have something that you feel like you could do better. But at the same time, it should be until a certain level, because you just need to understand that your eye is going to develop while you look at references, while you find new artist friends, why you basically just live your life. Your eye is always going to develop while you get older, and you will end up always seeing bad things in your art, and bad things, or not bad things, but things that you could improve. And that is a good thing until a certain line, you know, like as we talked earlier, if you are suffering with this mindset, as I said, look for help. But at the same time, you need to think about the fact that you are just improving your eyesight and you're improving how you look at the world. And it's good that you always think there's something you need to fix, because that's something you can look forward to fixing and you can slowly improve, you know. But at the same time that is true, I feel like the most important aspect of this is falling in love with the process and not the result. If you're always thinking about the end, if you're always thinking about the process and just always thinking like, when I'm going to finish this, it's going to look better because I'm going to try this technique, and then I'm going to get more followers, and then I'm going to get more commissions, blah, blah, blah. No, it's about the process. It's about sitting down, painting this eye, taking the time to paint the eye, to blend the cheeks, to think about the lips, you know. It's about the process. It's about sitting down every day and starting new things. Because if you fall in love with what you do while you're painting, you're never going to be so hard on yourself, because you're not always going to be thinking about the result and measuring yourself in the end and the quality and if you gain more followers from it. No, you're going to just be happy while you're making things. And if you're happy while you're making things, you're going to be more conscious about the things you need to improve, and you're going to be kinder to yourself overall. So at the same time that it is important that we accept that we're always going to think that our stuff looks bad and it needs some type of improving, we need to not let that affect our self-love and self-worth, because we are worth just sitting and painting. We don't need to always create an amazing artwork in the end. It's important to be okay with the fact that you're trying and that you're painting and then you're sitting down and doing it. It's not only about the result. And it's important to even know that when you look back at your old art, you might think it's bad, but once in some upon a time, you thought it looked okay. And that is enough. You know, it's enough to make something that you know there needs some fixes, but that you're like, well, I did a good job. I did a good job here and here and here, and that is enough for me. And that is when you finally achieve this magical line that people are always talking about, like, when will I be enough? When will I get satisfied? It's right now. It's when you make a work that, even though you know needs some type of improving, it's already enough for yourself. It's enough for you to know that you tried and you went through the process and you liked painting it. Because I feel like it's so easy to forget why we paint in the first place, you know? So it's really just important to learn to love the process and not the work, and learn to be proud of yourself wherever you are in the process. Because what is the fun in getting to a final level? What is the fun in achieving a master level where you feel like you can improve. Like, it's not because you're 86 years old that your art is going to be the most amazing it has ever been. I do believe that even people who are older and have been doing the same thing for 90 years of their lives, they still feel like they could improve something or make something in a different way. So you need to understand you're never going to get to a level where you feel like you've achieved mastery, but you're going to get to a level where you know what you want to do, but at the same time you feel open to trying new things or even perfecting one thing. So the end line doesn't exist. And if the end doesn't exist, why not live in the present? Why not be proud of where you are today and think that this is the best you've ever been? Because technically it is. This is the best you've ever been. Like, the work you did today is the best one you've done in your whole life because it's the most recent, you know? And even if it's not, it's still the one that you enjoyed and that you woke up and did it, and that is worth so much more. And with that, I just ask you, what is the future of your work? Where do you want to arrive? Are you happy with the things you're making right now? And I just want to say that it's okay that you're developing your eyesight and seeing bad things on your artwork, but this is positive. And I just want to say a final reminder to always be kind to yourself. Even if you don't like the end result of a work, just think that it's still something beautiful that you created and it's worth so much more than you imagine, and it makes people's days so much better. And that's basically it. I hope you liked the video and please tell me what you think. See you in the next one. Bye!